My name is Bill Tortorella. Well, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Fast forward to 1994. I have two jewelry operations running down in South Florida, one in Pompano Beach, one in Fort Lauderdale. And I was doing about 35 trade shows a year. Every single year we did that show, there was always a lot of viruses running around. This year, a killer virus or bacterial, we didn't know what it was. It just came through. People started getting sick left and right. The medical officials didn't know what it was. By the third day of the show, the lady across the booth from me, the lady just fell to the floor. And, the paramedics came and everything, and I was still fine. I went over to see if she was okay. That night, I started to get sick so badly. And I was sweating. My throat was swollen like this. They took a look at me and they said, "Bill, you got to get over to the hospital." And they hooked me up with intravenous IV. And after they brought my oxygen levels back up, and they got a couple of bags with antibiotic in them in me. They said, "Your oxygen level's good now. You could actually go back to your hotel, but we want you to go directly to the hospital in the morning if you wake up and feel the same way." So I went back to the hotel room. That night, I physically remember hearing myself take my last breath. I left my body through this beautiful fluorescent glowing mist, hovering over my body, looking down upon myself. And when I recognized that body wasn't alive anymore, this beam came from behind me so bright, it lit up everything underneath me. And it drew me right into the gateway. This beautiful tunnel. The tunnel was made up of magnificent colors. And now I am starting to move. But I'm feeling this amazing feeling. I have a feeling like I never had before. A love. The love was so incredible that you actually become the love. Now you're in this light, you're part of this light, and I'm moving at what seems to me like the speed of light. No debris, nothing, just light, beautiful colors whizzing by me, going through me. And this love is growing stronger and stronger. By the time I get to my destination, I remember distinctively saying, "I'm home. I'm finally home." I remember hearing a soft voice speak to me. And she says, "Yes, Bill, you're home in the light of God." And then she says, "My name is Antonia. I am one of your guardians." And now I'm being greeted by spirits all around me, family, friends. And I remember mingling, talking, feeling love from everybody. I recognize them, they recognize me. Everything is done through telepathy. There's no mouths at this point. There's no bodies at this point. They're beams of light. I'm still a mist at this time. After it seemed like a few minutes have passed by and I hear this voice, "Hello, Billy." When I heard that voice, that was my brother's voice. Now, I'm sure I know my brother's voice. When he said, "Hello, Billy," by this time everybody was calling me Bill in life. I was in my 40s, but I was Billy to him. And he says, "Hello, Billy." And I turned around and said, "Peter." And the embrace was almost unexplainable. It was like you were part of them, they were part of you. Then he explained to me that he has to take me now and that we were going for something. And I said, "What?" He says, "We're going for your life review." I didn't know what that was, but this is now the first sense I have again of my life. back on earth. When I spoke to him, I forgot for a while. And he took me to another level, which they started this amazing, amazing thing. They showed me all the good I've done in my life. They showed me all the wrong I have ever done in my life. Luckily, thank God, I always say thank God, I never really felt like I really did anything really, really bad. But I didn't know the hurt I caused some people. But you get to feel that pain. You get to feel that hurt that you put onto others. You become the physical pain. And I was physically crying in my spirit, but no body. But it's like I felt the tears. It mounted so bad. I said, I can't take it anymore. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. And all of a sudden, a light came in and said, now we'll show you the good side. Thank God I did a lot of good in my life, especially with that job. Years as the paramedic, doing all that, trying to save people's lives and bring them back and help them in every possible way I could. That's when I understood what we're here for. I understood that we're here for service, to help one another. We're all connected. Until that time, I was a business person. I didn't think nothing in my head but business. I was going to come home from the show and I had an appointment to go to QVC and, that was my life. I didn't have those kind of thoughts in my life prior. And then Peter said to me, your third guardian is coming. And this man of great age, wisdom, when he approached me, I knew him my whole life. He was that voice that always spoke to me in my ear. He was the intuition that kept me out of trouble like a lot of my friends were getting in. I would always hear these things, it's not the right thing, You say that in your own mind, but that's your intuition. But he came to us and we were standing there. And I remember Antonia there, and Antonia said, look at yourself, Bill. I remember looking down at myself and I changed into this magnificent being. And they take me to a final level. All three of them take me to a final level where I believe it's almost like a panel. They take me up in front of these magnificent, beautiful, beautiful angels all around. And I remember they explained to me that you're going to get wisdom and knowledge through these angels. I started getting bombarded with different thoughts. Angels would approach me and I would see the universe. Angels would approach me, I would see combustion, nebulas being created. I would understand that we all come from stardust in somehow, some form. Another angel approached me, crystal numbers floating down in lines and numbers with light. All these numbers were lighting for me. I couldn't understand. The 3, the 9s would light over and over and over again. The 6 would light. These particular numbers, the 1, the 8, the 3, the 6, the 9, they lit up brilliant. And they explained it to me as if those numbers, they mean everything. If we didn't have these numbers, we wouldn't have our tides. They explained on earth, we wouldn't have seasons. We would not be here if it wasn't for these numbers. One more angel approaches me, says to me, you must return. I'm feeling complete love. I said, no, please don't send me back. I was pleading over and over again. She says again, you must return. I did everything I possibly could think of not to have to come back. The next thing I know, I'm being pulled back through a vortex, flowing back faster and faster and faster. And then I'm starting to feel pain, and then I'm zapped in my body. When I came back in my body, I'm physically feeling pain, and I can't move my legs or my arms. I'm waiting. At least 10 minutes went by, and then I started feeling tingles running through my body, running through my arms, running through my legs, and then I had enough strength to reach over, and I reached up, got the phone, and I said, "Get me to the hospital." I was frightened. I was in full of pain. I couldn't tell anybody this, because if I would have opened my mouth, they would have thought I was crazy. In those days, you just didn't talk about that. Never heard of a near-death experience, didn't know what it was. And it wasn't to the point till I saw my doctor after I got home. He took me to his office, and I explained what happened to me, and he told me, "I think what you had was a near-death experience." I have no fear whatsoever in dying after my near-death experience. I welcome it someday. And it's my home. I'm going home. I know where I live. I know where I'm going back to. I know that this is just a temporary thing, but this is where we learn. You see, that's an important part as well. We learn how to feel here. And that's something we don't have on the other side. The only feeling we have on the other side is of one complete love and service. It's one whole feeling. Those are together as one. But that's it. There's no pain on the other side. There's no sadness. There's no sorrow. None of those human emotions exist. That's why there's no selfishness. There's nothing on the other side like that. That love and service that you feel on the other side overwhelms anything that you could think of here by boundaries, by hundreds and hundreds of times more wonderful. This is a temporary abode. We're in this casing here, but this is not us. We're beautiful beams of light. We're spirits of the universe. And when we all get there someday again, you'll recognize it too. You'll recognize it as home. You'll have family and friends around you that you'll recognize. We all travel in spirit circles around our friends and family. They stay with us. Antonia was responsible for bringing me in, and she was the spirit responsible for bringing me out. Peter was the angel I had when I called on God to help me. He was always around to help me. And Oren was always with me if I was thinking I'm going to be doing something wrong. All I could tell you is I met these beings that were wonderful, beams of light with nothing but knowledge and wisdom radiating out of them. But when you're there, you are home. This is not our home. We live forever. When we're babies, we are love. We're still contacted by the other side. We have to be able to learn how to feel that love again. It's hard. We live in a world that's very tough now. Things are moving too quick. Things move too fast. We have to slow down in a way. The love and the service is probably the most important things to learn here on this side, and to transfer that to others. Coming back, I knew the best work I've ever done in my life was when I was a paramedic and, did all that service on a daily basis for people. I never knew how important that was. I never helped people as much as I did until after the near-death experience. I would help others. I would do anything. If I seen someone struggling in the street, I go run and help them. I say this person needs something. You give as much as you can, you do as much as you can. And to give of yourself is not to get back. It's to give. That's the fortune of love that you receive. That's the gift that we all get from God.